Well, here we go, folks. Last video of 2025. It's our little park up for the night, look. Here we are at Langdon, look. And this is in the Bowland Forest. I don't know how long this video will be for. Rambo's sporting his winter attire, his day-glow jacket to keep him warm, because that's a lovely day, but it is bitterly cold. There is a very cold easterly wind blowing straight across from the Arctic Circle, I imagine. I've just spelt a fot of rain, and I felt a spot of rain. There's a little river we're crossing over there. The main one's over here, which we can't see at the moment. And it is in fact a feeder for the local fresh water. I wish I'd put my gloves on, because my hands is freezing. But I didn't, so there we go. We'll show you all around the waterworks. Apparently it feeds in to a load of pipes that distribute it all around the local area here in Lancashire. Now then, just up there, you probably can't make out that red light, but beyond that and through that valley is Yorkshire. So we're on the Lancashire-Yorkshire borders. There is absolutely no signal whatsoever on the telephone. Last night I had to drive away from my little park up for about 6 miles before I could get a signal to send to my family to let them know that I'm out of signal, and don't panic if I don't get in touch with them for 2 or 3 days. And then I got a message back as I was coming back saying, well, how did you send this message? Well, of course I sent it, and then I come back down again, because last time I went off piste I got myself in a spot of bother for not reporting in. So I reported in and still got myself in a spot of bother. Anyway, moving on. This is lovely, isn't it? Lovely tree-lined little road. It's a private road. It only goes up as far, well, it goes a little bit beyond the waterworks, and then I don't know where it goes because I ain't been that far yet. But I got myself a nice packed lunch. I got a peanut butter bagel. I got a couple of mince pies. I got a flask of tea, which I don't hold out too much hope for because the outside of the flask was warm. Now that would say to me it's giving up heat. It's only one of these cheap things, so that might be a flask of cold tea by the time I drink it. I got a raincoat with me just in case. I am dressed up nice and warm apart from my gloves, which I should have put on, as I said earlier, but I didn't. Rambo's paying a lot of interest. There you go, look, that's lovely down there. For some reason, my camera has turned its controls round to, I'm just going to turn you up and see what happens. Nothing. For some reason, it's turned the controls to a different side. I don't know why. The orientation's gone a bit funny. I'll sort it out when I get home. Hopefully this isn't taking it in portrait mode, because that's what the controls are sat on. They're sat on portrait mode. Here we go, he's rambling on, look. Look at that, through there, lovely and green, even in the middle of winter. And is the last day of 2025. It is January the 31st. And one of the reasons I've come here, or probably the main reason, the only reason is because when I'm at home, there are fireworks going off all night long. And I hate it when I go to bed and have to wake up again. And Rambo can't stand the fireworks these days. He used to be not so bad with them, but then we didn't really live in places where they were noisy, but we do now. So I've taken us away, and hopefully that'll be peaceful down here, because there's no houses for miles around. There's a farm up the road, but, well, they may or may not, mightn't they? So hopefully it'll be a peaceful night. We got some chili con carne for tonight, which I made earlier in the week, and I froze it. And I got some rice for it tonight. So hopefully we'll have a nice dinner. Oh, I was on my picnic, weren't I? I forgot about that. I got my flask of tea, my mince pies, my peanut butter bagels, and I got myself a nice tangerine in there. And that should be enough. That'll keep us going. So this is the old waterworks here, look. It's a house, well, this bit is a house. You can see more, look, there's a little castellated thing in the background there. I imagine at one time that the building was occupied by the person who looked after the water, but of course, with today's automation and stuff, I imagine that no one lives there now. That might even be a holiday let. But it does have a nice little garden. It seems to be well kept. You can see from here, look. Look. That's not so bad, is it? There's a nice little garden there. Up there you can see, I'll show you in a bit, you probably won't be able to see it, but up there is apparently the nymph of the weir or something that one of the workmen made. He sculpted it while he was working here, and it's been known as that for all eternity. Well, since 18 something or other anyway. So here's some of the, there's a little sculptor in there, look, a sculpture, sitting on top of that little jetty sticking out. That's where the water comes in. It's not a treatment plant. It's just where it comes in to get pushed into the various pipe networks. But they knew how to build in them days, didn't they? It's lovely. Even down to the fact that they put a little sculpture there. And they used all the local stones and probably quarried it locally, I imagine. Well, they would if it come from local, wouldn't they? So that that white thing right in the background there, which is barely visible, is supposedly the nymph thing. But hey ho, I don't think we're going to get overly excited about that, because I don't think there's too much to get overly excited about. Now, I said to myself I'd walk out an hour and I'd walk back an hour. There's a bit of a issue with that. I didn't know what time I'd come out, so we'll have to go by what I think is an hour, because I'm not doing a circular walk, only for the reason I had no idea where these walks go or anything, because I didn't really come that prepared. Let's get through this gate. Oh, no, that way, Rams. That's it, good boy. Let's have a look at this sign, shall we? It tells you all about it here. Look, the Forest of Bowland, keeping Lancashire on tap. And is Langdon Brook used to supply water to parts of Lancashire since 1871. And this is where the water begins its journey. And the nymph, the intake nymph is called Miranda, of which one of the engineers constructed. And that's it. That comes off of natural filtered land. There's a picture of the nymph there, look. That don't look anything like it from up here. It's supposed to be there, look, down there on the corner. I don't think it is. I can see a penguin down there. I mean, obviously I can't. But what I can see, I wish I'd brought my camera with me now. You know, you never do when you want it, do you? I should have done. But there's a big cormorant down there. You see it on the end of the pier. I'll see if I can zoom in on that at some point later on when I do the editing on this, but there's a massive cormorant sitting down there waiting. There's obviously fish in there, and he's waiting for his New Year's Eve supper. And that's what the whole thing looks like from up here. You're not going back yet, Ramsey. And there's the surrounding hills, look. That's really nice. I don't think it's that far out of Manchester. Come on, Rams. That's it for this little episode, folks. We will catch you again in the next episode. If you like what you've seen, press that subscribe button. If you don't like what you've seen, press the don't like button. Have a great time, folks. Bye for now.